the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody?
Move for a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Move to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Move we accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll second.
All in
Except for one correction, it is not Brain Bomar, it's Brian Bomar.
Oh, well, he'll think it's brain.
He'll think bring it up.
I could make a snide comment about
I so could I, believe me.
but I won't. You saw that.
I just let it slide.
Okay, that'll
All
slide.
in favor?
Thank you, Kathleen.
Aye. Without sliding.
I do it all the time.
Motion
If I'm
carried.
going too fast.
Treasurer's report.
On the treasurer's report, we have a total of $249,775.95 in all funds, and the Vista bill continues to go down this time of year, even with the use of the fans that we're using in the office. And you'll notice that we also have the quarterly reports attached for the water system and for the other funds that we have.
Any questions?
I have a question. On Yeoman Gym, is that just one fee? One building permit?
That's the building permit ratio for the school.
That's what I thought it was.
And then there's another one also included, much smaller though. It was mainly the building permit for the project at the school.
That's a big project, so
It is.
that's why that was so high.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was, but after thinking about it, I figured it was the school. That's why I asked.
Any motion to,
I move that we accept the treasurer's report as given.
all in favor?
Pay the bill. And pay the bills, excuse me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
Reports. Council. Do you have anything today?
I got a note here, did it all fit later. AC office, I think you'll bring that up, so that's, I think everything else fits elsewhere. So.
Planning and zoning.
There is none, she said.
Nothing to report though. Some of the items that we have on the agenda kind of fall in that area, but nothing to report.
City clerk.
Okay, on my report, I wanted to discuss the audit. And last month, the council approved the Fresno Gauge audit for 2010-2011 engagement letter. 2010-2011 engagement letter.
Okay.
And I found out that the council needs to make a motion to accept the engagement letter, not approve the letter. And there wasn't a motion made to accept the engagement letter. And so we should do this motion at this meeting. If someone wanted to do it at this time, we could get it into the minutes. I didn't add it to the agenda as a separate line item. And also, I hadn't given you a copy of the letter for each council member and the mayor to review. So these are your personal copies that I made and put on the table for you tonight.
It says that we need to get the information by July 1st.
We met that deadline.
I am amazed at the figure here. It's coming out $500 a month just to have an audit our operation. If you take that $12,000 a year,
But that's for
it
two, yeah,
surprises me. It's that much. I mean, what do they got to do?
that's 2 years. That's 2 years, Bill. We're doing 2 years at a time to get caught up.
Oh,
So
that's
that
for
figure
2
is for
years.
2 years,
Okay,
and
that's-
once we're caught up, then we'll have half of that each year.
No, I ever interpreted that as just 1 year's fee.
No, that's the total for the 2 years to get the city caught up.
And we, in the budget, we had 5, or did we have the 6 budgeted for the audit?
Oh, and tell you that we have the money budgeted.
Yeah, congratulations on meeting the July 1 deadline.
Thank
You
you.
worked hard to do it.
So you need a motion that says we agree to, what is this called?
A motion to accept the engagement letter dated June 4th, 2014 from Presnell Gage for the 2010 and 2011 audits. Would someone like to make
I'll
that
make that motion.
motion?
Yeah, there you go. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. And thank you very much. And continuing on the audit, as I said, we met our deadline, and the auditors were reviewing the information that we gave them, and part of that was a flash drive with our QuickBooks program on it, so that they could review where they left off on the 2009 audit and where they begin on the 2010 audit. Well, we got a call, and that the auditor said he found some discrepancies in the trial balances in QuickBooks from where they left off in 2009 to where they begin in 2010. He recommended using their summer intern at a billing rate of $45 per hour and some of his time to get the 2010 books to match the end of the 2009 audit so they can move forward on the audits. At this point, they can't move forward on the audits because of the discrepancy. And what he estimates is that if everything goes right, the cost would be about $1,000 in addition to that engagement fee you just approved. So I talked to our past city treasurer about that and kind of showed her the information, but she's not quite sure, just as we are befuddled on why this would be. She couldn't understand it, but she said she recommended going forward with the auditor's proposal, but of course it's ultimately up to you.
If we don't get that by December, we're going to be paying a lot more.
Yeah,
That we don't
yeah.
have a choice.
Yeah, and we do have a bit more time in talking to the auditor. He's seeing it that 9 months after our year end. And so it was recommended that we maybe have our attorney review, our city attorney review that HB bill and get his legal take on it, on what's the time frame that we do have as we're moving forward with the audits that we needed to keep going forward on. So I'm asking for a motion to accept the additional work from Presnell Gage so that we can move forward with the audit.
I move that you accept the additional amount to be paid to move forward. Or we accept it, I should say.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And I just wanted to add that in making the deadlines that Carol has been working additional hours in the office, helping with gathering materials for the auditors, and also she covered the office when I had to leave suddenly to go down and help my mom after my father's death, and she's been a real great help to have in the office. And then on the budget, I wanted to let you know that leaving as I did, I wasn't sure if I'd have everything ready for our budget workshop on Thursday, but Sharon came in and helped, and she had started the training, and we were working on the budget before I left, and she filled in a bit while I was gone to keep the budget moving forward, and then we worked on Saturday together to complete it. So we are moving forward, and we will have the work session on Thursday night at 6 o'clock. And I have your packets ready to give you tonight with the proposed budget in it. The other thing I wanted to report, maybe you noticed on Saturday, but the American Motorcyclists Association did come through town on Saturday, And my contact with that organization did send to the city their certificate of liability insurance, as you had asked for me to receive before they came in and did their event at our city park. And then Carol has a report on the status of the office air conditioner.
Okay, as you know, our AC went out in that unit that's in the wall in the office. As far as we know, the heat still works in it, but it's a closed unit. Nobody will work on it, so we can't get the AC repaired. Johnny from Dell's had a new heating air conditioning unit put in his building, or two of them. I went down and looked at it, and he got it at Costco. I went to Costco, and it is a Lennox, and it is an outside unit. It would have to be mounted either on the sidewalk or on the roof. And then there's only like a 4-inch hole that would come through the wall, and then the unit would sit about the same size as the one that's in there, but we'd have that big hole we'd have to fill back in with the brick and whatever. The problem with that one is it is, after talking to the salesman at Costco for quite a while, the cost would be anywhere from $3,200 to $3,500, which I thought was a little expensive, especially if the heater still works in this unit. That's with installation. That includes the installation. And we would get a $900 rebate from Avista, so even at the low end, it would still be $2,300. And that's an 1,800 BTU unit that would cover approximately 300 feet, or square feet. So here's the information on that for those of you who would like to look at it. And then I've done some research at home on portable air conditioners. That you have the 4-inch hose that goes into the window and it has the plastic thing. I researched about 5 different units at as many stores as I could. Some of them are just online stores. They're all about $279. I think one of them is $299. The LG unit. Yeah. The LG unit that I looked at, 8,000 BTUs is all we'd need for that little office.
Well, you can get by with a 1,200 in there if we had to. It's a living room.
You could. We're sweating away in there, Bill.
Well, I wanted you to check out the heat capacity
Well,
on
that's
that
what I
thing
said.
in there this week.
We got
Turning on
to
heat.
talk to Dell's and see if the heater still works too.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then we're back to looking at a larger unit like this.
And a larger
But if that
size.
heating unit is still workable, there's no sense replacing the whole unit.
If it's the compressor, it's the same heat as cold, is it not, John? So if we're not compressing to take heat out of the outside and bringing it in, or you're doing the other to take it out of the inside and pushing it out, the compressor's
Well,
got
we'll be
it.
calling Johnny next week to check it out for us.
Oh, okay.
What we did observe is that we had heat, and then the weather changed to being hot, and we tried to use the AC, and we still had heat.
But no
So-
cold.
Yeah, so,
That's interesting.
yeah.
But you don't know if it's blowing in the hot air from outside,
Yeah, exactly.
so you don't know if it's actually heating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that unit is still salvageable and the heater will work, this was the best alternative that we could come up with. These are only about 8,000, 9,000 BTUs. I feel it would be sufficient for that little office, especially with the brick,
Oh,
that it would keep it cool enough. They're all pretty close to price. The LG unit at Home Depot is $279. I checked the same exact model at Best Buy and it was $299. So I got all the specs, everything on these for your review in case we have to go that route.
In the meantime, we've been turning on the cooling in here and opening up our window and our door and using fans. We had Dell's come out and unblock the vents in the office to see if we can get some cooling down there. It doesn't seem to be coming out very much, so we're kind of still having the open door.
Better move your office in here.
We thought about it.
So,
I think you remember this, John, the only reason we blocked it was to keep the heat and go up out of it, and that whole duct was shut off when they put in the new system. Do you remember?
Yeah, when I came, the grills were closed on those, so I opened those up, but I don't know whether the man, when he was redoing the heat pump, did he disconnect the ones coming to the office?
That's what
There's
I
not much coming out of this, if anything.
That's what I'm thinking. Is
Yeah, he
maybe
just,
I think it was just, the
Yeah.
only reason we blocked them was to keep the heat from rising and
Yeah.
working its way out in the winter.
yeah,
That's
from
why
our
they were
office.
shut down.
Okay.
But that's, do you remember anything on that?
just as an outward comment, the Linux is far superior to the, what you're talking
The other
about.
ones? Oh, yeah.
Far superior.
But unfortunately, they don't have one of these little ones. I checked.
Yeah, I'm just telling you about the quality, so.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I froze to death in your store today going in to get some parts.
Yeah.
First time ever.
I bet it felt nice.
I think everybody would have an excuse to go to Dell's Electric.
Sounds like happiness to me.
But
Well,
we didn't make any, I'm sorry.
no, we need to find out if that heating unit works and not working.
First.
Right.
And, yeah,
Shall we,
Good.
if it works, shall we go, if it works, shall we go for the air conditioner? Is that, do we need a consensus, or you got to vote on it, or just let the mayor decide? I'd say a consensus is we go for it, we got heat for $279.
And if
This
we-
gives us-
And if we don't have heat, then we're back to,
we're going to have to go with the
square
Linux.
one.
Yeah, they won't have to.
Those little ones work pretty good too. This Kylie's got one in his bedroom, and he's got 140 square feet in his bedroom.
But that's just the air conditioner.
That's just
Yeah,
the air
the little air
conditioner.
conditioner. I know what brand.
Flip side of that is, what's the power going to be
The
for?
problem is we can't get it without
It's all in the
tube
specs.
out. We
It's all
can't
in
get
the
it
spec
fit the
shell.
window because it's too narrow.
Yeah, and putting in a little portable, even if we could find one narrow enough to put in the window, it would take away the security of the city office.
That's what I was just going to say, that because what was it, 3-4 years ago, somebody kicked that dang air conditioner through the wall.
See, and with the little portable one at night, we can lock the windows, just pull out the little
Hose.
exhaust and lock the windows and have the office secure.
Which is why I suggested one of these because of the security reasons for the office.
In the meantime, it's 106.
It's a temporary fix. I didn't tell them what it
You get one
matters
way
to
to
me,
do it.
but, I think it's a hell of an idea.
Yeah, we've got to have them working on
Rather
heat.
than having the girls bake.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We're sweating as it is.
We don't want to alienate them.
But then we go outside and come back in and it feels good. Yes, exactly. We just have to step outside. Oh, it is cool where we are.
The female species.
Hey, you're grown up.
Let's just say I like to live.
And that's the end of the clerk report. And do we have kind of direction? We'll move forward and keep in touch with the mayor.
Definitely.
You have anything further?
Nope, that's it for the clerk.
All right, we had a clean water sample for June. Both Jason and I passed our wastewater collection test. It was supposed to be the week after Shebang Days, but they changed the test date, so it was the week of Shebang Days is why it was in. Shebang Days went good, besides being a little cold and wet.
Well,
we-
everything looked nice, and I saw you guys were working on keeping the cans and stuff going. That's good that the city helps out.
Right, and we had a water leak at the corner of 6th Street and Jog Alley up here. Kind of a weird connection, because it was their sprinkler water that came out into the alley and then went down an old pipe and came out back into their yard. So, but we got it fixed.
I have a question, Herman. Were they being charged for that water?
Yes, it was going through their meter.
It was, okay.
Yes, yeah, we did establish that. It was going through their meter.
Surprised it didn't have more leaks as old as it was.
Well, it was old galvanized, and somebody hit the sprinkler or the stem pipe and started it leaking. And we had to cancel the dust control the first time it was scheduled for the 27th, and then I came back and had it put down July 2nd, and everything seems to be good. We're still working on our sand filter. We're having problems flushing the sand out of the line just because of the distance of it and the amount of sand that's in it. We got the water installed at 301 Main number 5. And then they said they had a state inspector come and check the sewer and said their sewer hookup was okay. It's something I didn't want to argue with about at the time, but we'll have to check on that with our lawyer.
Who's the state inspector?
Because I can't remember his name. I gave out the number. I have it in my notes.
So he came instead of Jim?
No, this was back when they were working on the plumbing to connect to our systems, and they needed a state plumber to okay what they did on their property. Well, one of the things they did is they connected the sewer from the one house to the other house, which is against our ordinance, and the state inspector signed off on that. And I don't think he knew what our ordinance was. The landowner did. We discussed it enough.
Many times.
Herman, did they do a pressure check?
On their sewer?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did it hold for 15 minutes at 80 pounds?
The guy did indicate they did do when the state inspector was there, that they did do a pressure check that passed. The problem, John, is that the city ordinance says you cannot put in a V connector running from one house to another house into the main sewer line.
Oh, yeah.
And the state passed it. Is that,
And we
is that
told
it
them,
in a nutshell?
and we told them they couldn't do it, and they did it anyway.
Yeah, they did it anyway.
Because they're
But you
in the
guys-
section,
you
it talks
guys
about
gave
a
them
while.
direction and indicated to them at that time if the state would pass it or the
Right, I
county,
do remember that.
Well, we
it
did
would
with
go
this.
along with it.
What I think we were saying from my recall of the meeting is that the work that they've done to connect to our systems, the sewer and the water work that they did needed to be inspected before we would connect to our system, correct, Herman?
But Herman does have, because it's on city property and it's violating city law, you could put a stop load program
That's true.
That it's done.
Right.
in. Could have just wrote a stop work and
Yeah.
they would have had, they could have had to quit doing what they were doing right there.
Yeah, because they covered it up before they tested it. That's what we were
Having an issue with, yeah.
I still think he came back, somehow he had to come back in where the T was and do a pressure check from that to the house, didn't he?
Yeah.
The whole thing is.
If my memory serves me correctly.
Because we told him he had to do that, that's why it had to be inspected. Of course, they got a little confusion between state, county, and city here, but
All right, and then I took almost a week off over the 4th. I didn't do much besides work around the house, but it was nice to be able to take almost an entire week off.
No.
Have Jason take care of things.
Okay.
And that's all I got.
Did you get any pump totals for last month?
Yes, we did. It was over 4 million.
We haven't found any more leaks.
Not other than the one up there, and then we fixed a couple pressure plates that were leaking. But other than that,
But we're not finding where the leak is.
no.
Just out of curiosity, what should our average, say during the summer be? You're
Well,
saying that was around
right.
4 million.
No, July is usually about 4 million. August is usually 5 million. In the winter time, we run 3 million.
Okay. And that's just the standard norm. Yes. We don't know anything.
And how much in the winter?
About 3 million every month.
That's what we had, 11, 12, 13, and 3,600 and 2014. That comes out to 600 gallons a day per unit, when it should be 150 in the winter.
Yep.
So we have serious leaks.
Yeah, and it's really pretty hard to find, considering this one downtown is built on bedrock.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
we
wasn't,
know, it's just
Pretty
the
bad.
line wasn't
Yeah.
put in right, but it still has to be found.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we were gonna run the machine.
Well, yeah, we just haven't, we've been too busy with other things here.
Okay.
The way I understand it, pretty well found all the valves
Yep.
and they're gonna flush them. And then after the fire hydrants and valves are flushed in and out, then we can start pressure testing.
When all that happens, is all the city residents going to be notified? Because all
On the
that,
one section that we're testing that day, yes. We'll only be able to test one section a day when we're doing our pressure test, because like you said, we have to go around, tell everybody we'll be shutting them off. Then we have to shut everybody off at their meter, and then test the pressure on the line.
well, the reason why I'm asking is because in the past, when we had, like when the bridge was being worked on and you guys flushed everything and all that, all the deposits that were in the pipe, I mean, I know that was a cause of my hot water heater going out. Is all the sediment that got flushed out of the pipe on the way in, and it was plugging my half-inch line going into my house. And I ended up having to replace a kitchen faucet, a valve in one of the other faucets. But yeah, I know that's the reason, because I drained that hot water heater, and that sucker was heavy. And it was only at 50 gallons. And what I have in there right now is a Blue Element 80 gallon. But that sediment gets washed through the pipes and then it rushes in. So, like, I finally, in order to clean everything, I went through all my faucets and everything, and I pulled all the little screens out. And I just let everything run. And I let it run for probably 30, 40 minutes to make sure that they're all flushed out. Same way with my outside faucets. But yeah, you could say if I'm wrong or not, Johnny, but it's that white, is that a calcite or a calcium deposit or what that's in them pipes? You
Well,
know?
the calcium settles out in the water when especially the water heater when it gets hot. That's what fills up in the water heater is calcium.
But I know I had chunks of it coming through my faucets, and I know it was lined in the city pipes. That's the only place it would come from.
Well, I imagine there's quite a bit of rust and sediment in the city lines over it, but
Been there a long time.
100 years.
But the calcium, it's
I don't know what it is, but it was hard, and it was the shape of a pipe.
Well, yeah, it dissolves in the water, and then as your water heater, as it heats up, then it cooks it out,
Right.
and then it becomes hard again.
Yeah.
But it is a rock, yes.
Yeah. But that's the reason why I want to be notified, is so that I can start flushing my stuff out when you start turning stuff on. If you end up doing down to where I'm at.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start on top and work our way down.
Okay.
So we're gonna get it last. We're gonna get it all flushed.
Well, I know when they flushed everything out, when they put that new bridge in, and they put the new valves and stuff in. Christ almighty, my granddaughter was over there getting all the damn worms that were coming up out of the ground because the bleach in the water was pissing the worms off, and they were all coming up and dying.
Any report on the fire department?
We didn't have any fires last month.
About anything from the sheriff's office? I thought they said they was gonna have a man here.
Haven't heard from him this month.
It's not election time.
Yeah, it's not election time.
Well, let's move on to new business then. Vacation of Railroad Street.
Do you guys have any of this information?
I believe she gave us
The survey map you brought to us and the request.
This here is what Johnny, John and I did
Here comes John's. I did the same thing.
Well, it's kind of laid out the way it actually lays here.
Well, let's watch this. Let's throw this over that so we don't get your paper all nasty.
Okay, this is
Or
the,
sweet.
This is Main Street, and this is
okay,
Railroad Street.
Okay.
the original.
This
This
is
is
City Hall.
where the street is now.
Yeah.
This is,
So you guys are wanting us
This
to
is Railroad
vacate
Street.
this and make this Railroad Street?
this is actually the railroad property, and Schwartz bought 40
Actually
feet
part
of
of the
it.
street.
And that goes right through his building?
Through this, goes right
Yeah,
through
that's
this,
the old road.
and this goes right through.
So
This is Johnny's.
this is what they're saying, this section right here,
Here's that
John.
kind of run.
Because it goes
This
through your
is Railroad
building.
building.
Yeah.
And
That's the Schwartz
and
property.
This is the, well, this is
Yeah,
the city
it's-
building right
It's
here.
in our packet.
And
It goes through
Right.
the back of the,
Yeah.
Well, we went along with our property.
and even
here's
the
where
Yeah,
two
this is
communities.
part of that too.
Yeah,
This is-
oh, look, residents.
This whole thing is- This one is where my property.
Was that original?
That's the way it's set up. That's the way it is. Johnny said it's been that
The
road's been there
railroad
for
is sold
Well,
for 40
let's
feet
see
of
where
it.
you
These
build.
lines are wrong.
Yeah.
Center line, railroad owns center lines, 50 feet.
That's the back of his
They sold
We were talking to Schwartz.
50.
Yeah.
From center line.
We don't want to pay
Yeah.
taxes on this.
We understand here.
I've talked to Schwartz,
Well, right.
and he says
here has been using this for.
they
That's been
sold
their yard
that to the city.
forever. I mean,
Grandfather caused it.
Then you see dumpsters back there. Schwartz has owned that for maybe 7 years.
We haven't had dumpsters there for at least 5.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it was right after he bought it, he tried to sell that to the city because he didn't really want this from 7th to 6th. He just wanted the upper part where he parked his trucks.
Right.
But they said, no, you gotta take the whole thing, so.
Looks like City Hall's in
Was it the railroad said he had to
Well, they
take?
vacated it here.
We
when
don't
the
know.
Bill's involved.
Railroad,
Yeah.
yeah, they, actually, the new owner.
And our sheds in the,
I remember when it went up for sale,
Is there.
and that went all the way through last time, there's a whole lot of right for so long. Yeah.
But Schwartz
So they have-
claims he sold it to the city, and the city was waiting for it. and
Well, if he isn't
But,
gonna come back with it, it's not
the
a problem
assessor's
with us,
office
it's as
says
long as
no.
we
yeah.
got a road.
Yeah.
Nobody went through
So this will
and
go
finished
to you
the
guys when we vacate it?
paperwork
Yeah.
if the city actually did
Yeah,
want it.
nobody's recorded it.
Didn't have it.
It's right here.
Yeah. Schwartz is actually still paying taxes on that.
They haven't realized that.
No.
They might now that you mentioned it.
I called him 3 weeks ago, and I called him again this morning, and he says, well, we think we got paid by the city, but we'll look it up.
Are they paying taxes on it?
Yeah.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Well, then they've still got that.
Well, they're paying tax on it. I don't know whether the city paid it or not.
How would we find out if the city paid Schwartz's for that? There's no way to find out, is there?
I think we even asked Sharon if Sharon was aware of it, and it would be before her sign.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Schwartz is happy, and he thinks it's been paid for. The city can go ahead and take the quick claim.
Everything's going on.
Well, see, where Railroad Street is,
You guys did.
See, after the second time,
that was still like that.
I said, after the second
So what
time,
we need to do is
That time.
Yeah.
And I asked them down at the assessor's office, they said, well, city of Culdesac, most of the streets probably aren't where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what we hear on a lot of stuff.
So, I don't know, but I'm just trying to.
Hey Larry, you think yours was the best? You should see this one.
So when you guys did, that's the only one.
Yours was only-
Florence is the only one that says the city is.
You got an easy job
We
to
don't
do.
have any records of it.
Fence going on.
And the assessor's office says
You put chickens in?
Schwartz still pays taxes on it.
Still
So
posting
it's
chickens.
never been recorded as being deeded over to the city. So it's still technically Schwartz's property.
So what, can we just do a consensus that we agree to get it vacated once we figure out
Well,
what?
didn't we vacate back here?
Yes.
So-
We get up on the Ray Market.
Yeah, but that was the one behind Hammond's. Isn't that railroad? Oh, yeah, and Terry Lace, that's railroad also. We vacated that.
yes.
So which means,
But we didn't have a front door, we had to have, I mean, if you're worse, they'll cut us off there.
Yeah, we cut off
that's true, that
We
road.
don't own it.
It's a valid road for many years. It cannot be taken away.
They don't want to have
How much fire is it?
Yeah.
Say that was city hot truck,
I said, one of these days
the
I'll
whole
be
thing, or?
From 6 to 7.
God, I hated that thing.
Well, I'd say we should claim
The dumpsters that we know back then are right behind our building. And you can see
Painting
the,
on it, they
as far as the
We
street,
shouldn't have to pay.
it's all on
We'll take it.
Schwartz property.
Yeah,
Has been as long as I know.
yeah.
Why don't we, can we just do a consensus, we'll agree to move it vacated one, so that they can proceed with their, or
Do we
how you
need
feel
legal?
that, Larry?
I was hoping that I could get this to the city attorney to review, because at our last meeting, we had a question about what are the steps to vacate. And I was working with the city attorney on that question. And so when I got this information, I faxed it to him, but he wants to have a better look at the map. The fax didn't come through good. And he wants to review it and kind of give us some legal information on vacating for the first question we had last month, and then for this month.
We need legal.
No super rush on your part.
That would work. Just need to get things to work.
Get her done by the end of
Know
summer.
what we're trying to get done.
Well, it certainly doesn't make sense that we have two railroads, but then the Schwartz comes in,
I think our big question is Schwartz.
and he's not here tonight.
There's a sewer line coming down the street. Ask the location of that. I think most of it is on Schwartz property.
On
From
Railroad Street.
Yeah.
right up here,
It's
kind
nice.
of runs diagonally,
Oh, you're wrong, you mean back here.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it starts up here, and then begins diagonally this direction.
And that manhole you got there is part of it?
That's the end of it.
Oh, so there's a sewer line here.
Yes, there's a sewer line down that street, or down that property,
Street or property?
whatever
It is.
Whatever you go.
Whatever you call it. But yeah, there is a sewer line that runs down this, so we have right of way through there.
Yeah.
Highway through Schwartz's property.
Yeah.
Street through his.
Other than they're working on moving some more property here, so the lines need to find. But if he's got to go through and punch in the numbers, we want to have the new numbers. So just hold this about right?
Okay.
Yeah, if the attorney says we're okay, then they gave it.
Yeah. Sound reasonable, everybody?
Thank you.
That just puts them on hold for a while though.
We're not gonna move anything, so.
I would think we'd have to agree with Schwartz to relieve him of paying taxes on something he won't own.
I think all he'd have to do is sign a quick claim over to the city, and then we can resolve it.
Yeah.
See you, John.
See you later. Watch out for traffic. But we can check with the attorney and see how that goes.
Yeah.
So let's table it for now.
And I'll get him all the information that they gave us.
Approval of beer and wine license for Culdesac Market.
This came up on my tickler that the Culdesac Market's license expires July 31st. I know Mike knows the steps that he needs to take to get with us, but this is the meeting where the council needs to approve his licenses. So when he gets the state information and the fees to us before the end of the month, we can do our city licenses for his beer and wine. And then I also noticed that the council would need to do a motion to approve the license to sell the liquor by the bottle, which they're now doing, which they weren't doing last year when it was approved for beer and wine, but they are now. So in looking at the records, there's two separate licenses, one for selling liquor by the bottle and then one for the beer and wine. So we would need motions for that so that he can be ready when he has his state information and his fees to get his city licenses. No, it's not for drinking on the premises. It's for selling it in the can, the container, the bottle. That he does.
Off-site consumption.
Is the language.
You're really messing up the plan, guys.
So we need to approve this now, we make a motion now.
Make a
We don't
motion
need
now
anything.
that you, if the council would approve for him to sell the beer, wine, and liquor in his store, then you approve it, and then the city office is allowed to work with him to get our licenses for him when he pays the fees and gives us the state license copies.
Okay, I move that we approve a license to sell beer, wine, and liquor by the bottle for the cul-de-sac market for the next year.
Yeah, between August 1st to July 31st.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Gem Community request to build a gazebo in the city park.
Yes, John's here too. Mr. Law and Hammond and myself and the ladies in the organization had such a trouble with it. We wanted to build a permanent stage. It's not really going to be a gazebo. It's going to be stainless steel frame and a roof. And we could make sides to it, whatever we want.
How long do you give it?
So we won't.
Stainless steel, immovable, indestructible by the local angels.
What about the weddings in the park?
And possibly if we could block it in enough, we could show movies at night and stuff like that too. And maybe have, and the idea, the people seem to like and want to add to this, John, you know where that old telephone post is leaning and where the old shebang sign was? The only, in the concrete circle, it's very in bunch of brushes. We would put it as close to the dike as we can. We'll work with the building permits and the Corps of Engineers. Everything will have to, our inspector said we have to even hire an engineer to engineer this for us for a wee bit of money. But we're still dedicated. We just wanted to get a consensus from the council that you would agree to such a project if we continue for it. Would you like to add anything, John?
Roughly the dimensions are at this time from side to side 24 feet and from front to back 12. And we would probably put it up on a cement pad of 2 feet high above the solid and right back against the dike.
And it'll be anchored to the pad or be recessed into the pad.
Right. It'd be
So
indestructible.
Need to be the course.
And the other thing is, as a stage purpose, it'd be really nice because we can put all the tents out front and everybody could watch something without looking in the sun. Because there's no sun on the north side since I've been here. But once the poles flip, we may have a different situation.
We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
At that
and
point.
it's not a closed structure. It's up on posts, and so everything is open,
Right.
all four sides.
But we could design
No roof.
hooks and stuff
There
for
will
lights.
be a
Roof, but not the sides.
No sides. Yeah.
That's why I was
Permanent
asking if
structure,
it was
no
going to be
sides.
anchored down.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
if
yeah.
it ain't, that opens up the city for,
Oh no, we got to go through the inspector on this, and he's already set some rules that are. We were just going to get a shed, and then we. That's why the gun club had a shed by the time they got through. So, but we can't do that since it's public property. So.
It'll be spec'd out by architect and structural engineer.
I don't have a problem.
I don't either.
No, I don't either. Believe it or not,
I'll be on.
I know it's a shocker.
You can have an opinion.
It sounds like it would be
It'd be nice.
beneficial.
Yeah.
engineer.
I wonder how many weddings we could get there. It'd be
Yeah.
Is this with or without the shotguns?
Well,
I don't care. Whatever.
Right down on Main Street.
Because if they are having a wedding there, they have to rent it.
You need a little room.
So it's
Just
income.
consensus.
Even though it's going
Until they come in.
$25, $50, it's still
Income.
It's like renting this building.
We just want to make sure it was a go.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the ones that did the bridge.
Come down here for the
And,
reception.
you know, most of our juvenile delinquents are getting bigger. Hopefully the little ones come
We can
along.
really
I take
dress
that
up that
back.
area because that's
I had one leaving
all
a
those
beer
electric
beer
lines and
bottle, the
plugs
beer
and
can the other night.
Circuit breakers, we could get them all
12-year-old.
high out of the road of the kids. We do the electric.
Okay.
Training.
Maybe put it underground, get rid of that god awful wires all over the place.
Sounds good to me.
I'm glad, I think it'd be, we'll bring projects when we get them designed, and bring them to the council then, right?
Right,
I
that'd be
think that's a
good.
cool idea.
It'll be a benefit to the city.
Unless
Do you
we-
plan to have this done for next year?
Darn right.
The Corps will be here next Monday.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Expecting the levy?
Could make an appointment with John
Nothing,
or?
that fence that's in my backyard, all those T-posts are just sank in the ground. Nothing is concreted. And that fence is on the inside, so if anything came through, it lays over.
John, you gonna be here
Just-
Monday?
It's just another encroachment.
Just for your information, because they're gonna peck at you.
Yeah.
I should be back from Coeur d'Alene, but, oh yeah, we got Jim meeting that night. What time did Coeur go to
Monday?
be here?
Monday at 1.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Can you make sure we work some where in there we discussed this idea of placing a stage here. We might be able to get concrete blocks go a few feet into the dike. The further back, the better.
You're not gonna be able to go into the.
Concrete dike is stronger than rock laying there.
You're still messing with the levee itself, and they're not gonna let you touch the levee.
Well, I can't see why.
Because
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
really
core.
strange when they
The
plant
U.S. Army
trees.
Corps of Engineers, that's why.
Yeah, it's really strange, man. Go down there and look at the dike at Lewiston. How many
yeah.
trees are planted in that sucker?
Yeah.
How many what?
Trees.
Trees. They're planted in that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And the creek's on the other side.
It would
That's
best
where
not
the
to
person's
ask him
gonna
and
go.
just do it.
Larry, I think that's the best idea right there.
Yeah, and then put up with the encroachment later, huh?
No, never encroach.
John.
No, we won't ask him then.
Are you playing Sergeant Schultz?
I know nothing.
So,
Shall we
anytime-
move on to Jake breaks? And you have a report on that?
Well, basically, the subject of Jake breaks came up again. A council member brought it to me about, the status wasn't going forward because the commissioners had sent something to our city attorney and he never responded. So it didn't sound to me like our city attorney, so I checked with our city attorney and he said he had never received anything from them. He would have responded because that's what he would do. And then, as I said in your packets, he then forwarded over to me, just coincidentally, he got some email information from the county from a Nance, I can't pronounce the Italian last name, and they had a bit of correspondence back and forth, and he sent it to me so that you can see what's currently going on and why maybe things are delayed a bit about where to put the sign.
I don't see why we need a survey.
I know.
Because if we stick it right there with mile marker, is it 291 or 292? We don't need a survey. It's a pole that goes in the ground behind mile marker.
Well, and the Idaho Department of Transportation is not going to place that sign until the Nez Perce County Commissioners tell them who is going to put the bill for the survey and for placement of the sign. And my position is, we're in Nez Perce County, we're citizens of Nez Perce County, and Nez Perce County should pay for that sign. So if you want to get a hold of Mr. Rod Tippett, he's the one that communicates with IDT. Talk to him. He's in road construction and maintenance, part of the Nez Perce County Commissioners, and indicate to him those thoughts, see what kind of response you get. Then I think it's time for the city council to reapproach the Nez Perce County Commissioners and demand an answer why they will not pay for a sign inside the county, and why is a survey even necessary?
Yeah. I thought it was all taken care of.
Yeah, we did. We did.
I don't read these comments, nobody did anything on the
No,
past.
they give us the runaround.
When I talked to Mr. Tippett, he indicated to me that he had been in contact with Ed Lineker, the attorney now.
Then he sent an email to him.
Somebody, he said, she said. I've left him 2 other messages since, and he hasn't returned 1 call. So, that's where it's at.
Yeah, I got the same problem for our gym community. We want to put another welcome to Culdesac sign on the uphill side.
Yeah.
And like it right on that white spot as it pulled off. I've been to the county 3 times. They finally directed me to some guy in Craigmont who is with the state highway. And he hasn't got back to me, so I'm getting the same thing. Oh, I thought it was all taken care of. Who'd you talk to? Oh, la-di-blah. And all we want is a little sign on that little road that comes down the hill, and hopefully high enough up so they can see it before they exit the highway. It's a big white. So it's the same battle, yeah. But I haven't worked too hard at it. I've only called once or twice. So, but the county I gave up on, he finally directed me that they finally decided they couldn't do anything, even though they told me it was a county road.
You were there, the county commissioners approved
Right.
that signing.
Right.
By their approval, they should have also accepted the cost of putting in the sign. That should not fall on the citizens of Culdesac.
Well, we might get action. Elections are coming up.
Well, I would suggest that we make an appointment, get on the agenda, and go down and reapproach on that basis.
Who's got time to do it?
Well,
I always do.
I do know that the last thing that our city attorney said in his email string is that he's going to follow up with the county
Okay.
and
Best
see,
we do is
you know,
always have a lawyer there.
what he
And
can
that's
get.
$500 an hour. Why not? Why not less? Why don't we stand up and do our jobs?
Well, that's a good point. Do we need a lawyer on this?
No, he's already.
He's already on it.
He's already
He's
on it.
involved because Commissioner Tippett said that he sent information to our city attorney that our city attorney did not get, so he is kind of already
So we got to at least follow
and
that
the
step.
county people are sending him emails.
I don't think it's that many hours.
No, but, you know, how many times has his name been brought up this evening?
Who?
Lineker's.
On this?
No, on
On the whole
Culdesac.
meeting.
Oh, yeah, well, it has to be. We gotta have a lawyer. Everything has to go through a lawyer.
Yeah, it protects the
That's
city.
my point. We don't have to go through a lawyer.
Well, I'll take our clerk's judgment on that. What do you think?
I think he said he'd respond, and I think we better find out, because we're already paying him.
Yeah. Well,
Well, if nothing else, we'll go to unfinished business and table that until we find out later.
Yeah, and as I say, he can follow up if someone, you know, wants to volunteer to follow up from our city. That's fine too. We can see if we're getting the same information.
Didn't we go about a year ago, Roy?
And it was, the last one was, what the sheriff was last October, November. And his issue was no signage on the old Winchester Reed bill, if I feel correctly. I believe that was his main concern. And
Yeah.
once we indicated that no, we wanted on Highway 95 going north, from north to south for 2 miles, he had absolutely no problem with it. And there was 2 commissioners there, and they approved it.
but it doesn't mean the state would approve it.
The state did approve it. State Patrol approved it, and the Nez Perce County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, that was the meeting that I couldn't go to,
Exactly,
was that meeting.
right. And IDT is the state. Period. You
Yeah.
don't need state approval. They'll put the sign in as soon as they're directed on how they're gonna get paid and where it's gonna go.
That's,
And I think if we just meet with the Nez Perce County Commissioners and indicate 10 feet north of that mile marker 292, or 10 feet south, whatever, so that it doesn't block the mile marker, and reinforce it with what they've already approved, you know, it should be a slam dunk.
I wish everything was a slab.
It's not. I wish I wouldn't have went to sleep and went to bed and been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, like a couple other items on this calendar.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like, you know, new business comes in before old business is finished. And I think that's exactly wrong.
Well,
I think the city council needs to address old business before they address new business.
There was a reason for that.
So Bob, clear down here, and don't disrespect it all, Bob. H, change your process for collecting past due accounts.
Roy?
Now, I brought that up in March of last year.
It's being addressed. The point is, the people who come in with new business don't want them to get bored with all this little technical things on the junk at so-and-so place and this and that. The new business, we like to let people get in and get out, like John and Mary Kay. They did what they did, and John, we get them out of here because they don't want to hear the rest of it. The rest of the stuff is usually
I agree with it.
the third stage on it, so most of the people involved aren't here, so we just got to hash it out.
And then also,
That's why
we should
put
pick
it
out
on.
citizens, a time slot for citizens' comments and questions. That's no longer on the agenda.
Because that's why we didn't get to
The
this.
reason we changed it around was so we could finish a meeting before 9 o'clock.
10
That's why
o'clock.
we didn't get to
Yeah.
those other things, because we were having comments.
Well, I'm getting a little frustrated. And it is with the utmost respect for each and every one of you that I'm voicing my concerns.
In 4 years, you can run.
I'm not running for anything.
3 years. We might just put your name down. May not have anything to say about it.
Well, that's the reason we did that, and, I might agree, I think we use a lot of lawyer stuff too, but I don't know how to get around it. And I respect our new clerk's lawyer ability. She used to work in a law firm.
We've been bombarded with a lot of stuff that we aren't familiar with, and we have to go legal.
To be protected.
And all that stuff we're trying to do, like clean the town up, you've seen what we had to go through to do that, and it's starting to work now. The next one will be easier. We'll have the paper there to be a little easier.
I agree.
And
In some cases, it's necessary. But in order to get this signage up, all we had to do, and Sharon wouldn't have been so adamant about it, all we had to do was write a letter from the city council, take it down there, put it in front of the Nez Perce County Commissioner, and they could approve it or disapprove it.
well, did we follow through on it?
No.
City council? Is that what you're saying?
We did everything that we were supposed to do. We went to the
did everything we were
meeting,
supposed to do.
they okayed it, but they wanted to talk to the sheriff and the state police.
The sheriff
That meeting
was
I
there at
wasn't
that
at,
meeting.
and they, from my understanding, that was all okay.
And you know
And
what? You
the
know what I
county
truly
dropped
believe?
it from there.
Do you know what I truly believe? Tippett has just shoved it right under the carpet.
Well, but he wasn't the chairperson of the commissioners at that time, wasn't it? Zenner was the chairperson. It wasn't.
Because when I talked to Zenner, he pushed me right over to this guy.
Oh,
He
okay.
said he's in charge of the highway.
Oh, okay, okay.
So if you want to contact him, I don't think as a citizen I've got any pull at all. You know, he's just going to flush me just like he did the original request. But if it comes from a city council member, I think it'll have a little bit more impact.
Is that your project? Miss?
She's the one that took it on
Yeah, I
originally.
took it on. I can call and find out, it's just, I'm stepping on Ed's feet right now.
Well, you work with, don't send them.
I know, don't step on his feet.
And
Just
this,
tell him you're following through. Ed's a partner, he's not an enemy.
Just call him and see what he has to say.
Let's go on.
Yeah, it says
It's
all,
all business.
Let's move on to unfinished
Yeah.
business.
and
Ordinance 292, adoption of manual on uniform traffic control devices.
as I explained in the notes, we had an incorrect number for the ordinance. The next number was 292. It's been redrafted, and we just need to have a motion to approve the ordinance 292. It's the same thing that was approved at last meeting
And we proved it as what?
as 291, which was last year's budget, and I have now found in the office where the record of the ordinances are kept.
So we just have to.
Just a
approve the
motion.
number.
Well, that's pretty complicated.
I don't know if anyone wants to bring that motion, but
I move we accept ordinance 292 as was adopted in 291, but have the number changed to 292. Is that sufficient?
thank you.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
exterior junk at 203 4th Street, status of cleanup.
We have attempted notification of the daughter to move the camper shell. I spoke to her on the phone to get her mailing address and let her know that the order that she knew about for her parents also applied to her. And it needed to be moved from the city property. A letter was mailed to the address that she gave me for receiving mail, which was her parents' address. And we hand-delivered a letter and taped it on the door. And the letter mailed to her was returned to us undeliverable. But we have verbally told her and attempted the written notification to protect the city as I was instructed. And at this point, it's past July 8th. The city is free to remove the camper shell at her cost. The question is perhaps, I know we have the Van Gelder property all cleared up, but the city attorney said, you know, how much would it cost to move the camper shell onto the Van Gelder property, since it is their daughter's, and she did not move it. It does not have jacks. It's up on about 10 tires, keeping it up. There's really not much inside of it.
It may fall apart when you pick it up.
Try to remove it.
Because it was the one that was laying off this highway.
And so we can either remove the camper shell and store it or dispose of it, but the best advice is to do what's easy and simple for our course of action. Herman, would you like to?
Yeah, I suggested we just have Willis bring down some straps, strap around it, pick it up and move it over there and set it right down on
Ooh, that'd be a good idea.
his property.
And he happens
With
to
the
be
And we got him already scheduled to be in town tomorrow.
for some other work nearby.
Oh, I move that we get rid of that tomorrow. Let's move it tomorrow. Willis can do
Then it
it.
becomes an eyesore because it is an eyesore.
Well,
But it's not on city
So
property.
that other stuff.
No, that's true.
but
Is there room? Is there room that where Jimmy's got things that you can put it?
yeah.
That it's back off
Jim,
the road.
Jim, yeah, it's back. Jim made plenty of room back there.
And that's probably why you didn't want to touch it.
Well,
I know
Jim-
he said it was large, but probably
Right.
because it wasn't.
It's not in good shape.
No, it isn't.
No.
They need more scrapping.
They're not traded, but they're not gonna trade loose.
Yeah, can we get somebody, any of those guys that were interested in scrap?
Well, that's my question to the council.
Concerning the property there, I understand that Jack's about to get released and come home. And she's going to be coming home.
She's right now at, in town at
Pretty quick.
John's sisters.
being cared for at John's Sisters. Wanda's in town, so.
So why don't we just have them move it over in whatever time it takes
Because
for Willis to
that
go
really doesn't
the
take care of
time?
the problem. If we've got a guy, somebody that'll haul it off and get rid of it.
Now that's my question. The people that were interested in doing the salvage on the city property were interested when there was a lot of items on the city property. There were trucks and things of value. This camper shell doesn't have much value, and I'd be willing to contact the salvage people and say, well, all we have left is this broken up camper shell. Would you salvage it for free?
One of them was Larry, I
And
think.
would they be willing to do that, Larry?
Larry, yeah.
With all that extra property you're gonna get, you can put it right there.
No.
Bed and breakfast, right there.
There's your chicken coop.
No. I think we need, just let her remove it tomorrow.
All right, yeah. we'll see if we can
Do you need a vote on it?
Yes, the motion.
Okay, I move that we ask Herman to have Willis strap it on 715 and move it across the street to Van Gelder's property.
Come to order.
Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Determination of lot lines between 801 Piney and City Park.
Oh,
Mr. Adams.
I'm listening.
did you give a proof that you've been paying taxes on that all this years to our
Got all
clerk?
the paperwork down here, people.
Okay, well, it's your
Be on my
prerogative.
plate.
don't see what the problem is. Now, I wanted to mention to the council that Gem Community tentatively agreed to help pay for part of your cost on the,
Tentatively.
well, we need to get the actual cost
You got
figures.
paperwork on that?
But we had the condition that we wanted you to put strips in so that it creates a private fence instead of a greater fence.
But what I need is
That was,
the plat map.
didn't I give this to
And you
you?
can make a...
Yes,
You gave it
I
to
gave a
Bill.
copy to give to them.
And
Oh, okay.
then she
I got
made a
questions
copy
about
of it.
that the other day.
Yeah, this is the one you gave me.
Okay,
before.
there-
I'm sorry.
that's mine, yeah, because
But
we all
it's the
have
same
that.
idea for the city.
We all have that in our packets.
There should be a packet to where I photostat copies of what the county gave me down there.
Oh, wow.
Carol?
Larry, I think that map was too big, you were just gonna bring it.
To the
I couldn't
meeting.
make a copy of it.
No, this is the one off my taxes, my tax paper.
Last month, that they had in their package last month, this is, no, your hand-drawn map
That's mine.
and this, that's all.
This is my taxes.
There's your
But I
taxes
don't
showing.
have a plat
Showing.
map, and we need the copy of the plat map. Did you bring that?
Well, I brought it down and what did I do? Did you
took
did?
it
I
home
thought you
and you-
photostatic copied it.
Wouldn't fit in the copy, it was too big. But it showed where the,
Well, it shows on it where that used to be 8th Street. That was 8th Street. And this over here is telling me that I have abandoned abutting.
The south one half of vacated alley abutting is what's on your property statement, and you have a plat map that shows what that portion is on
10
the map.
minutes.
Now, you can show her anytime, you don't need to do it in council meeting, do we?
Yeah,
Yeah, we need to approve this.
we need to see it, and basically, you were supposed to go to the county and get your plat map. I was,
Got that. I
and,
brought it down here.
but
I
it,
must have been drunk by the time I got it.
and then my part, Larry, was
No, I
to
saw it.
check with the lawyer on, before the next meeting, on what we have to do to vacate the property from the city park, what we needed, what steps to do. And he wanted to see the plat map, which was too big to copy, and so I thought tonight I'd get a copy of it so that he could have that. Okay,
We'll be here more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll be here more, Larry.
thank you.
yeah, I saw the plot map, he brought it in.
Do we have markers in the city
And
to show where the city? Because Larry and I have, not Larry Payne and I have a marker there by the tree that shows where the property line is. Then there's another one under the gravel lot that I would have to find. But then my property goes another 2.5, 3 feet over beyond that fence. So my concern has always been, are we giving him, if we're going from the fence line, then we're not giving
we
him.
need to go from your property line.
Right, we need to get the property lines correct so that we give him what he's asking for.
Your land is in their yard?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And
The
the
whole
city,
block is probably
The whole
that
city
way.
of Culdesac is like that. No one wants to
Yeah.
survey
This is
it.
what we just
No.
went through with these.
I know, that's
Yeah.
why I'm laughing, because no
you got it over
surveyor wants to come
here.
out
We
here.
have it over here. The city attorney wants to see the plat map and to advise us on that question that we had about what the steps to vacate that land would be. It appears that from the plat map that he already, has a portion of it. But he said we might need to involve the title company to make sure of
If you're
boundaries.
gonna do that, then you gotta get her straightened out too.
Yeah,
I'm
just,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
down the
it's
block.
snowballing.
Let's go,
Yeah.
let's go into the streetlights while we're waiting.
yeah, so, first off, on the protection of the phone trunk, if you read the notes, we're working on getting the phone trunk protected, as the citizen who came last month requested us to do. It should be by the end of the summer. CenturyLink should get out and put steel barriers around to protect that phone trunk. If you want, we can take it off the agenda because I think it will be handled, but if we find out that they don't follow through, then we'll keep working on our end at the office.
I say we leave it on just so
Okay.
we'll know until we confirm
Until it
this.
gets done.
Okay,
It's not one of their top priorities.
No.
you think?
He told me that.
Yeah.
Street
They don't
lights.
care if it gets hit.
Because then they just, get more money because the repairmen are repairing. So, streetlights.
He was gonna call it Vista again.
I tried and I attempted and I couldn't get a human. I'm not sure what's going on with the Vista. You can't get a hold of the state, Nez Perce County, or Vista. So, and I thought maybe that you would try it again this month. I was gone part of the month too. So,
Keep it on the agenda.
and yeah. There's been nothing further on F, update and additional discussion of the trailer court. I haven't heard anything from the owner, and neither has the building inspector, so I don't think anything's been moved in or out.
Are those 3 junkers still there?
Have you done any
Where at?
Poxleitner trailer court? They had RVs that were going to be moved this spring, summer.
I believe they're all gone. All the little campers.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him the other day at Granny's, and he said he's changed his mind. He's got another one to put in there. It's instead of 42 feet, it's a 37 by 20. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, I don't care. You do what you works. as long as
Just
it
work
passes
with the
code.
building inspector, right?
And
So-
he just seems totally big. He wants to buy something really, really, really cheap, I think.
Mm-hmm. But nice.
But yeah, the little campers, they're gone.
Good.
Okay, that's
but
very
we
good.
gained on that one anyway.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Community center, gym, and fire department roof leaks and mold issues.
Well, we brought in the roofing guy. He confirmed we got a leak in the shop. That is not all that sheetrock has not got any moisture in it. It's caused by condensation from the brick walls without them being insulated, cold out, hot in, cold out, or whatever. And we are getting that, and he suggested we call a guy that can check airflow and make sure we get ventilation in there. We probably got to put a little vent in there, or to get that vent working again. I'm not sure if it's working or whatever, or it's been shut off. But we never did call the guy. I think maybe we can figure out a way to get that vent to work, and we don't have to put an outside vent on it. But that's what's causing the mold. And we had a couple of leaks up there, a couple of spots that need some work. He noticed. Other than that, he says the canvas is good, the tin flashing's pretty good. Other than that midsection there, which needs some work, but it does that every spring and fall. So, did you have anything to add to that, Hermie? Were there?
I don't know, except we're gonna have to get back up there and then fix the holes that he dug out.
But I think the problem is airflow. And this building isn't designed for huge temperature.
That's what they told us for 30 years.
Yeah, well, we have that problem right here in these storage little.
There's no mold in there now. I was in there trying to set up the gym thing, which is the next subject, and there was no mold in those closets.
Really?
And
Wow.
we're on the ceiling down there. We did have a leak on that a long time ago, but that got patched on the lower flange, so maybe that's it. Was
So
getting
then-
down inside and run down the walls, probably what was happening on this end, because all the water runs this way. Just like we got the problem with all the water running that way on there. So anyway, we do have some pretty good control on it. I don't think it's a major problem, other than we got to figure out how to get the mold out.
Clean the mold off, yeah. And
Bleach doesn't work. How about the M14 or whatever?
X14, yeah,
So
X14.
that's pretty toxic stuff.
Yeah.
Don't even
I
dare-
think you better contact EPA.
Oh, sure. And
I'm
we'll get the
serious.
lawyer while we're at it.
Yeah,
I'm serious. Poison somebody.
trying to clean it up. If it's not a professional
What do we have
outfit.
to do with it? I don't know.
We have to clean it up.
Yeah.
And get the ventilation so that it doesn't come back. It seems ventilation, then clean.
Legionnaires' disease comes from.
Should we have Chuck with that vent? Do you know anything about that vent back there on that, ran that little fire closet room? Oh, you weren't here when we did all that.
I don't know nothing about it.
I will pursue further on it. I'll talk, we'll work on it.
We'll keep it on the agenda.
Just what it up in the county.
Didn't you have a bigger one, Larry?
Nope.
You want to run some copies for us? Yeah.
Just these two?
What up in the county.
Okay.
I would have swore those were.
So we'll, while she makes the copies, we'll keep this on the agenda for Bill to pursue further and report back.
Yeah.
See how we can clean that mold up.
And all the crumbling paint was from a long time ago. It just never was scraped off. So it's pretty dry. You mean that wet? We didn't have it at that time. There was no water inside.
So it's just, there's no ventilation in there. Is there a way we can put ventilation in there?
Well, that's why he suggested this one guy's name, and we'll check that duct in there. Maybe we can run an outside duct with a little 4-inch tube or something. Let me look at it. Just like we got in the bathrooms, we got some ducts. Well, this next one's pretty complicated. Do you think we gotta get to Larry here before we get into the,
Yeah, let's get to Larry
yeah.
before we deal with that one. Harlan, will you go look at the bridge? It's sliding.
Yeah. Actually, I think the best thing to do that is remove that.
Plywood.
No, leave the plywood,
okay.
just remove the tar that's on top of it. Because it's all sliding down to one end on the way coming down, and there's a big hump at the bottom. And when it was 100 degrees out there, I went out with a flat nose shovel. You can put underneath that, and you can just lift that whole thing right up. We can take the Bobcat, and I think we can have it off of there in half a day.
But then what would we be down to?
Plywood.
So isn't this Hercules'
This is Hercules.
responsibility?
This is Hercules. I went across it the other day and I stopped, because going up I thought, what the heck? So when I came back, I stopped and looked at it. And I'm sorry, I just brain fade, but I didn't catch you earlier. I didn't know if you knew about it.
Oh, yeah.
And the bridge inspection was done, so I'm expecting something to
This
come
is
back
what I
on
have,
that.
They only look at the structural integrity. They don't
Okay,
care
so
about potholes.
what's on the top and what's sliding off.
Right, no, they care about this, the
Did
structural
you get Larry
integrity.
his originals?
And
Is there a copy for us?
It's too really.
I forgot. Let's see.
Yeah, because we gotta have
Okay, I think we have a copy of one of them.
No. That was a hand-drawn map.
Watson.
What's
This
hand-drawn?
is.
Wow, these are old.
okay, that's the one
Where'd
I
you
was
find
thinking.
these? The
County gave
Lewis and Clark?
I need to see it.
5, 6.
Oh, well.
I thought that was pretty
Probably
fun.
in the old courthouse down there they got.
Yeah, so I have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Larry has 10. Right?
10, 11, 12.
Yeah,
10, 11, 12.
right. Block 2.
I'm totally confused on this. River Street. Where the heck is River Street?
The creek.
Greg?
That's what it is.
Oh, the creek. Oh, right.
Yeah, because Maine is by church and she's on Finney.
Yeah.
You guys are on-
That F-I-N-N-E-Y?
Yeah, PHIN.
Oh, P-H? Who is?
You guys are.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah.
PH.
Right.
Why would you have two pennies in one town?
Didn't say the size of this.
Well, at least they don't spell them the same.
Yeah, but you have to spell it when you give it to people, because they want to do the F-I-N-N-E-Y.
I know.
And then it would go to your house.
Seven.
We got 2 blocks of Finney.
We have no numbers for block markers, do we?
Creek, both each one block.
I don't know.
Two cities.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where the two pennies came from.
Can I make a comment? I'd like to see what would be possible here. Whether, when we get all this zoning thing figured out, that makes you guys happy to get both of you problem, is that
How are you proposing that though?
well, that's got to be worked out with some marker. I don't see any mark numbers. We have already, he says he's paying taxes on it.
Right, he's paying taxes on that.
So he owns it. If he's paying taxes, so it isn't a problem of reallocating the property to you. The thing is, we just want to like to have you get a fence in there and improve
I don't
that
want you
property.
building something on my property that I don't want. I don't want to put nothing on the city property.
Exactly.
So we got to
That's
determine
where I'm
it.
going.
We need to
But
determine.
Yeah.
If
If it goes 2 feet into his place, that's about where the house starts, right?
Everybody,
That's the line.
everybody's got involved in this thing. I tore the hedges out. Oh, that's great, Larry, that's great. Well, who did I tear those hedges out property off of?
Yours or the city? Yeah.
And then if you find out it's on the city, am I going to get sued?
No,
The-
no, because it cleaned it up.
You gave him permission. Last month, Larry,
Yeah.
the council gave you
I just
permission.
joking.
Yeah, but no.
Hammer that anvil. It's case closed.
I don't know how to fix this one. I know, where some markers are, and Larry doesn't know where any of his markers are. And there's no markers at the city. There are those little tiny,
I know what your
yeah.
survey marker. I got some on the levee.
So you had your survey, yours?
No, I didn't have it surveyed. I know where there's a tree between Larry Payne and my house
Okay.
at the shop, and there's a marker right there.
And so you're saying
And
5,
five-
6, and 7.
8 and 9.
Oh,
I have
9.
5 there. So, and I can go over and measure, but then I'm beyond the fence.
So are you willing to go from that? From her 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then you're 10, 11, 12? Are you willing to that? I mean, what else are we
Problem I
going to do?
got is
Well, I think we ought to let him build the fence where he shows us he wants to build it, and we don't even worry about it, and we let him get started, and we help pay the cost of making a nice fence that makes it look nice for the city, and he could level that out, he could have a little better parking spot, and it's gonna look, and we get that. The only stipulation, as I said, is Gem Community help you out, wanting to have some slats in it, which help pay
like I
for
said,
it.
you got that young community, I wouldn't have no labor involved myself, but if I had to hire help to come in and help me, yes.
Yeah, we'll help pay for part of it. And I'd also like a little commitment from the city to help pay part of the fence if we could ever decide where, we just say, let's put it where he wants it. And we don't worry about it. It's only 2 feet.
I've got the post down there, Herman come down and looked at it.
I like it. It fits the environment,
Yeah, I
fits
thought it
the
was
driveway,
good.
fits the road. He gets basically the road. If it doesn't do the park any good.
Right.
The $350, that's the total.
That's what I called, I don't know who
Ziggy's and builders.
Ziggy, it was less than that, but I rounded off.
Okay.
I might round it off.
So,
hard.
and the gym community and the city, you're saying are going to split that, and
Well, I
you're doing
know.
the work for your
Well,
part.
I'll do it.
I feel that the Gem community has been wanting to clean that up a long time and have some way to get rid of that. We've never been able to. It may be $500 by the time he pays his helper. He says he's going to work for free, and he's got some good ideas on leveling it out, building a little retainer wall to hold the fence. It'll be a nice stainless steel fence like he has around the rest of his property, so the kids can't run through there.
Somebody said, the only thing I would say is going to be a little higher is, you mentioned something about privacy.
Putting the slats in.
A little flat. I
Yeah,
have
but
no
no
idea.
problem, you can do it, but.
Yeah, well,
I don't know,
Not a good idea.
Larry and I hung it and we almost got divorced.
yeah, what?
We almost got divorced just putting those
Just putting those
slats
slats
in. our
in, they
fence.
are.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well,
You can buy the fence with the slats in them.
I'm sure
that
that
would be a good thing.
costs us.
Fine slick fence.
Yeah. home we used to
I'll look
own, we
into it.
put that around our whole lot. And it had the slats in it for the privacy, because we were next to a private beach access.
Nudist?
It was
First
pretty much
question
wide
out,
open
everybody.
down there. This was California.
Sounds like Miami.
Do we need to define this? Can't we just say we'll go for it and help pay a little bit of the cost of it, or what's your feeling on that? Is that, but you guys are gonna have to figure out that property between, you're the bigger problem than we are worried about 2 feet
Well,
from the city. We can put it in writing, you will give you clearance to put the fences there if that's what you need, right?
Yeah, but
I think all the city has to do is abandon the property. If he's already paid taxes.
He's already, well, we don't,
On half of the alley,
Yeah, he just needs
half
to
of the
let
alley
it
is
loose
ours.
and
Where's the
let it
alley?
Oh,
Where's
okay.
the alley?
where's
Where's the half?
where's the half? That's
That's the question.
exactly.
Where is the
Where's
half?
the half? Where's
we-
the half?
Well,
point?
aren't you going halfway
Maybe-
down the one
Okay,
that's
here-
between
here-
the hotel and the library?
Here's
It
the
could be to
confusion,
his
okay?
benefit too.
Kathy
Maybe he
and I-
has more.
Our next door neighbors.
right.
So I can't vote on
Okay,
it.
years ago, when I bought that place, there was 2 pipes up me and her property, which used to be Campbell's or
Yeah, it was
Marlin's-
Campbell's.
Marlin's, then Campbell's, whatever. That fence has been there for 23 years.
And it was
And
in the
the
wrong
same
spot.
It's in
too.
the- it's
And
in
I
the wrong
guess
spot.
It's been the wrong spot.
But that's the way it's been.
2 foot.
So where you're actually wanting to do this, does it line up with that half of the other road that's over between the hotel and the library?
No, that comes out 27 and a half feet. But if, hypothetically now, is if me and her get together and she gets 2 foot, then I can go another 2 foot
Right.
with parking.
Sounds
And you
good to
aren't
me.
going,
But I wasn't
you
thinking
aren't
about-
going that far?
Well, I wasn't thinking that way to keep everything square.
Well, you can keep the 2 feet and you'll have an extra half a kitchen.
That 2 feet apart, yeah.
Is your kitchen on her property?
No, it's
No,
bedrooms,
it's
living
her
room.
bedroom is.
Oh.
No, my bedroom's at the other end. My bedroom's at the shop end.
Whom I've been peeking at.
There's nobody in that room. There was, when Brian and Kim were there, yeah. I said, you guys keep the blind closed. Yeah, because that's your dining room.
She's been peeking on you.
In my dining room,
Can we just abandon the property and say where he builds that
Well, is
line,
that
we
one
get
of the
him to
things that we're
that
talking
point,
to
and
Ed
they can
about?
figure the rest of it
Yeah,
out.
I'm talking to Ed about, and he
Who's
kind of
they?
thought
Who's
that
they?
we probably wouldn't be able to do much at the council because he hasn't been able to get the
Get some
information
measurements.
to review it to get
Your
back to
city
the
plat.
council as they wanted him to.
And if we need to wait, we need to find out. I mean, Larry, you and I, because I have one of these at home. And I can go show you where the one is between Payne's house
Well,
and
you know,
mine.
I've never denied you.
No, you haven't. We've just, no.
Denied the 2 foot. But I know when they
We
had
can
the
just
town
measure.
left that way, that the lines were actually diagonal.
Yeah.
Then they straightened them away.
That's
So-
what made the difference.
Yeah, the whole town.
And the whole town's that way.
Yeah, the whole town is messed up.
That's what you guys are fighting out here.
Why don't we, tomorrow, we'll take some tape measures, go out and go and find out where you end over here before we get to the alley. And then you'll have an idea, because then we know where the alley is, then we have a half of the alley.
Well, the
And-
original deal, I measured between your place and the library.
Library,
And that's supposed to be,
27?
well, I think that's 8th Street, isn't
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, 8th
it?
Street.
And it's 50, I got the figures around here someplace, but it's 50-some foot and I divided it in 2.
Right.
And it comes out damn near right on my mark over there,
Right.
25 foot, up this way or that.
Well, we go 2 feet more, we're at the end of the sidewalk where you saw that little pin you put.
So it's not
That's where the
lining
best
up with
place-
the road across the street at all? Or sort of?
Not now, not now.
What you're proposing, where you're
Where
proposing?
mine is 25 foot from the front of my garage out.
Uh-huh. Does that line up with the road by the library and the hotel? Does that?
Didn't look at it.
You did?
Close enough for government.
Close enough.
We'll work it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Does
We'll
he
work
need
it out.
anything to get started?
No.
Or can we just wait? Is it
We
too
have
hot
to,
getting
we
done?
have to wait, because we have to wait, and just put you off a little bit longer, but Tony will be home.
Does the council want
Decide to
to,
stay up there the rest of your life.
His rest of his life? No, he's not.
So much fun going.
You're BSing me.
does the council want to make a motion on any portion of the fence payment before it's resolved, or are you waiting for it to be resolved, or?
Do we have stuff, that we have room in the budget that we can do this? I haven't seen a budget, so I don't.
Well, we could help somewhat, and then Jeb Community will help.
We'll cross
Yeah.
that bridge when we get everything.
Yeah,
And
and
it
you're,
could-
you will, because we really, that's
Where's
part of
the
our
treasures?
park improvement thing, you heard we're doing the gazebo and everything.
Yeah, but the gazebo's not back there by his place.
No, but Jeb
But
Community is pretty
if
well done, all
we
the
get this
improvements.
fence in, then that stops everybody from going into their yard too.
Right.
Right, and if you look at the treasurer's report for July, we do have money in our general fund, and we could,
Well, we're talking $175.
yeah, and so we don't have to worry at that point if we
Okay.
take it out of the general fund for
We'll
that.
cross that bridge when we get
Well,
there.
let's,
There'll be something.
yeah.
How's
Well,
that?
the council will partake in the cost, share of the cost then?
Yeah.
The council's giving them
Yeah.
while you wait for the next step.
Might be in.
You don't want to do it in this hot anyway.
Oh, really?
Because this is chain link.
Well, I mean,
We just did.
we don't have a problem with it, do we?
No. We just
I mean,
need
why
to know.
can't he, if you guys get it settled out,
Yeah,
why
we just-
can't he can start?
Yeah.
We need to figure out where that vacate. We can vacate that land, but we need to find out where it is.
And it's recommended that where it is and that we vacate it or abandon it.
To where
Well,
he
whatever
wants to put his
terminology.
And we'll
fence
do
and
it.
vacate.
It's
Yeah.
the same,
With three
Yeah.
same
consensus.
thing
If
with,
we've been encroaching on it.
yeah.
My tape.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
This it?
That mastic tape?
Okay.
I bought from you. That's what you use on their fish.
It's like that hose that you pull when sketching.
Thank you,
See you
Larry.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. No, I'm not saying that he has a right to do it. I just, if he does it and we're not far enough over,
Yeah.
then it's a waste of his time and his money.
Yeah, because
And we need
it's
to
for
get it
his
far
benefit.
enough into the, but we don't want it into the park either.
But it's for his benefit because, he may put the fence up and find out, oh, I had 3 feet
Yeah.
more over.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's still on the labor.
300-foot tape if you need.
I've got
I got 100
paint.
foot.
No, that's true. It
Just
could
go,
be
just
3
go,
more feet over.
Yeah, and that's the
go
whole
across,
point.
because I have the same, I have one of these, it's a little bit smaller with all the footage and everything else, and just go across with spray paint. I might come get some orange spray paint tomorrow morning, and just go, shoop, here's one, shoop, here's another one, and just go work it out. And I did tell him, I don't want to go that 2.5, 3 feet, whatever it is, I would split it with him. Because that puts it right up against the house. And there's no room for their oil heater or anything else. So, and I really don't want to put another fence up right now.
No,
It's too hot.
it is.
And Donna's raspberries are all over that fence. So we're down to,
Change to process for collecting past due accounts.
Well, and what we are talking about is we're just gonna charge a bigger late fee and see if that helps the situation, is that what we're saying?
My understanding is the late fee is to, the $25 late fee we usually don't get because it's a reconnect. But what we're looking at is the fact that they didn't pay it on time. They didn't pay it by the reminder letter, and I put in the new information in your packet so you can see how the system works, the reminder letter, how our ordinance goes. What the thought was is that just the fact of delivering a shut-off notice to the door, we're charging them. When it's not going to be the $25 to reconnect if we shut it off. They call on those notices on the door. They call, they set up their time, they bring in the money, but they're going to have to bring more money because we delivered a shut-off notice. That's my understanding of what we've been processing and considering doing.
I don't think the late fees
I can't believe that we have that many past due accounts.
that was making.
Out of 150 bills, you have that many.
186.
Believe
I mean, 180.
Well, if they have to come up with a little extra money, maybe it'll jog their memories.
But can we increase this 1.5% penalty for the first time, you know, when you send them out if they're late?
If we
That's-
increase the 1.5% penalty, I think I have information there.
Good night.
Good night.
Morning glories. Oh, good point.
Thank you.
I think in that information, because I did it back a few months ago, there is a charge to update our program to
To initiate it.
where that's a change to the DOS program. We go to our people, we say,
okay.
give us a new rate because now we're charging this percent for our
What a
past
racket
people.
that is.
Yeah.
And so it's going to cost us, I think, about $100, I think I had in my notes, to do a change on that. And yeah, we'd be changing to
I'd
this.
say we leave
So
the
that's-
penalty the same, you just can mail them the notice you just added on.
Well, she calls.
No, if we don't put a pink notice on the door, there's going to be that group of people that will be shutting off, will just shut off all their waters because they don't respond to the letter. They don't.
Unless you walk up and hand it this and say, you need to
And they
get
go,
a hold of the office.
Oh,
and
I
they
have to
take
pay
notice.
it. I have to
Isn't it in
pay
the
it.
ordinance that we have to give them a 24-hour notice that we're going to disconnect?
Yeah.
It should be,
That's fair.
not be able to be a council member if your accounts aren't kept current. I'm sorry. I mean, I've been one of these, probably in 5 years, twice, that I have forgotten to get it down here, because I usually throw it in my packet and bring it, and if I forget it, you know, so I've been guilty of it too, but not beyond, you know, every month, and not, you know, that usually it's the next day that call me, or Carol will call me. Well, you haven't called me.
Not yet.
No. Noreen called, or
What's her name?
yeah,
I called her, my sheriff
Sharon
called me once.
called me once. But, you know, that should be, I am just amazed that there's
We
that
might
many
as well take it
people.
off then.
So
With the way
Both
it
of them
is.
are the
So do
same.
we need to
gonna
change it
cost
to
us-
have a charge for when we deliver the?
It's gonna cost
the shut-off?
It's all a delivery charge.
It'll cost.
yeah,
They're
that's-
probably the
you
ones that
could,
are always in
now,
at the
if we do the delivery charge, like $5, $10 extra on their bill because they had a pink notice delivered to their door, that we could put in other charges. We don't need to have a change to the
Right.
program. We could key that
We
in
can keep
to
that in
other
separately.
charges, and then
Because
it'd
it's
be on
gotta
the
be
books.
something for Herman or Jason, whoever's doing it, that's taking time out of their work
And
day
that's what
to
brought
go to
this
the
up.
door.
This is what brought the topic up.
And there's
The fact that
about 10 to 20 every month.
So how does that take you, an hour?
Because you gotta go to every house, you gotta get out, you gotta go walk up, knock on the door, then if somebody's there, you gotta talk to them, and
If they're not there, will they give you any excuse, nobody put
we
it
leave it on the doorknob
it's a doorknob.
It's a door hanger.
Yeah,
if no one's there. So yeah,
Well,
it takes at least
at least
an
an
hour.
hour, or 16 of them.
Yeah.
Hour
So-
and a half.
Plus fuel, wear and tear.
Yep.
So there's $5 times 16 is $90. You're paying about half the cost of the truck and everything else, right?
And then I did include the late payment penalties for my other Idaho cities. Some just don't, they disregard a percent, and then they just charge, a flat $10. You're late, it's $10 added to your bill. Here we have the 1.5%, which is about $1 something.
That's a nuisance,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Mhm.
So you wanna try the $10 then? With the one that you can just key in?
Yeah, do something that you can key in.
You guys
Without
so
having
much
to
rock
go to
the
John's.
trucks, or at least quit being late. And it helped pay for all
I don't
the,
think it's gonna make any.
ones we gotta deliver the first time too, for those that are late, right? So we can make a little on those that don't make the ship, have to get a shut-off notice, right? So when you deliver the shut-off notice, you're gonna make enough money to what it actually costs for you to go around and deliver all those late notices.
Probably not,
Processing.
not if you figure time
At $10, you
and gas,
you at least
Yes,
pay
and
for the
labor
time.
and time in the office and outside the
but
office.
at least you'd be
Getting
closer to
close.
breaking even.
Yeah, that's
Right.
sort of
Yeah.
getting closer to that
Exactly,
even
yeah.
point, yeah.
I need to add more to their bills, but I don't know what else to do. They don't want.
Well, there's plenty of time between the time you get your bill and the late shut off.
The ordinance,
20 days.
the way the ordinance is set up, when we send out our billing and we process the bills, after the 24th, if you haven't paid, you're late, it assesses the 1.5% interest. We get our bills together, and we're usually mailing them out by maybe the 28th, 29th. And in that is the reminder letter to the people that haven't paid their past due to get it paid by such a date, which gives them another probably 5 days, business days, five business days. And this ordinance says that we give them an additional 5-day period in which to pay the delinquent notice. And so we're fulfilling that. And then we get together and the finance department prepares the list for shutting off the water, meets with the mayor, and the mayor has kind of, instructed the office, just get the notices out, right? Rather than meeting each month and involving that additional staff time. And the notices go out, we give them the 24 hours notice before we shut off the water, but we work with the citizens. This time, on the shut-off notices, if you want them, besides what is past due with their 1.5%, to have another fee that's assessed, then it would take and probably put their past due up over $100, and maybe that would get their attention.
Now, when you say you work with them, let's say Joe Smith over here says, gee, I don't have the money by Thursday,
Today.
but you want to shut it off on Wednesday.
And we
You
say,
not deliver the notice on the premise that they do and expect them to be down, then deliver it by itself if they don't do it on Thursday like they said?
we deliver all the shut-off notices for those who haven't paid from the letters. Then we get the phone calls, or we have the people in with the money, and the phone call usually goes like, well, gee, you know, my payday's on Thursday. Can you work with me? Can I bring it in on Thursday? And we say yes, because
And that works pretty good.
and they usually make their commitments. If they don't make their commitments, then we can just send the maintenance out to shut the water off if they don't keep their commitments. But usually, the people who are working on paying their bills this way, if they can't make their commitment, will call and say, this happened in the family, can I do it on
Definitely
Monday?
family.
Yeah, can I pay it on Monday, not Thursday?
I wanted that.
I mean, we try to work with them as much as we can.
Oh, no, like my renters, you gotta work with people, they have
Yeah.
bad times.
To a point.
Because we want to collect the money and not have a bunch of accounts without water where you're not collecting income, money on the utilities. But we do shut off waters.
Not very often, but
Well, if they gotta pay and they don't pay by shut-off notice, they're gonna get an extra. Did we agree on the price?
No, that's what we're, that's what we're, I think it should be $10.
Some towns are 5.
5, 10, 15, and 20.
Now put them over 100, they might wake up. I don't know.
I was thinking 7 right in the middle.
And you say it's the same people every month.
Pretty
I'd
much.
say 25 is more than fair.
25.
25% of the bill.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, lots of towns, even back when I was in it, if they shut your water off, it was a $25
Well, yeah.
shut-off fee and another 25
It
to
is.
turn it back
Yeah.
on.
So it was a total 50, where we just charge them 25 to turn it on again. That has to be paid with the payment in full, which includes the past due and the current.
It's so much easier to pay it
I know.
monthly than to let it build up. I don't understand people.
Priorities.
Oh, I know.
Water's a pretty good priority.
You would think.
Not to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, do we want $10?
Are you allergic to anything?
Never food.
Okay. I just don't want anybody getting
Yeah.
sick. No.
No, we got one council member out, so.
I think $10 is a fair figure.
I think,
They want to make a motion on $10.
I move that it be $10.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Sugar cookie?
We forgot the comment on G, on the community center. We talked about the roof leaks, but on the community center, I just want to mention we got a computer for the video from Greg Romero, so we can start doing the movie thing and they can do their computer stuff. It's a nice computer with a good video board in it. And we got a lock for the door. I got to get keys for it. And we got to figure out how we get these silly little special mechanical doorknobs off. They're really, you need a certain tool to get these off. Anybody's got a clue, I'd appreciate help. That's the only comment I have on that. Oh, by the way, as Mary Kay said, morning glory all over the place in the
Oh,
park.
my God.
We got the spray.
Morning glory is horrible.
They are terrible this year.
Horrible.
We got some weed only killer.
Can you,
It has
after
to,
Monday,
Yeah, we can backpack spray.
after Monday, can you hit the levee with it?
Well, actually, the levy we intend to hit with kill all.
Oh, thank you. Kill it.
Okay, I move we go into executive session.
Executive session.
Idaho 67235 for what is it, one?
Yeah.
1B.
Have you noticed,
I didn't know we were having
I'll
executive
second
session.
it, and you have to poll everybody.
Carol 90 days.
Oh, that's right.
Have you
No,
noticed,
Nothing important.
what's her name? I can't even think of it. Linda Mock's house.
But yeah, they're cleaning that up.
They're
too.
cleaning that up. It really looks nice. When I